And away we go.
Thank you for joining us for episode 2, Leading Your Club, Rotary International District 6560's President-elect Training Seminar. I want to welcome our club presidents, presidents-elect, our district leaders, and our district governor, Joe Collins. Please have the following websites open so that we can get to them quickly: rotary.org, dacdb.com, and any other Facebook, Vimeo, YouTube, other social media websites open, and have your cell phone ready for our live trivia. I want to thank you again on behalf of your district leaders for joining us for this vital training, and remind you to log on to rotary.org to take your club president's training there and submit the certificate of completion to your district governor.
At level number 1, this is where we all start. We all start with a title, we all start with a job description, we all start with a position. People at level number 1 follow you because they have to. In other words, you're the boss. The downside of level number 1 is the people who follow you will give you the least amount of their energy and effort. People don't like to have to follow people because they have to follow people. Level number 2 is the permission level. People now begin to follow you because they want to. Now, what happened between levels 1 and 2? You've connected with your people. They're not following you just because you are a supervisor. They're following you because you are a supervisor that people like. The leader on level 2, they have 3 things that they do extremely well to be a relational leader. 1 is they listen well. Secondly, they observe. They're conscious about where their people are and what their people are doing. And thirdly, they're learning. And then in the process of listening, observing, and learning, they have an attitude of servanthood. The third level is the production level. At this level, you become effective as a leader because you produce. And at level number 3, your leadership begins to gain credibility because now you are fleshing out for the people around you things that they want to see. Level number 4 is the people development level. The most appreciable asset you have in any organization is the people of that organization. 3 thoughts on developing people. Number 1 is the key to developing leaders, and the key to developing good people is in recruitment. 80% of your success of equipping people to be successful is in the front door on who you bring in. Recruitment is key. Number 2 is positioning. The ability not only to bring the right person in the front door, but also to put him in the right places. Collins would say, get him on the bus, get him on the right seat. Successful people have discovered what they're good at. Successful leaders discover what other people are good at. At level number 4, you recruit well, you position well, and then you equip well. And I use a very simple 5-step equipping process. The first step is I do it. Step 2 is I do it and you're with me. I take you with me. Now we're going to spend time together. I'm going to be your mentor. Now on step 3, you do it. You do it and I'm with you. Step 4 is you do it. You don't need me anymore. You know how to do it, and you do it, and you do it well. Step 5 is you do it, and somebody's with you. You've never really trained and equipped somebody until they can multiply themselves. That's level number 4. The level where you develop people. It's level number 5, the pinnacle level. The pinnacle level, the key word there is respect. They follow you because of who you are, the qualities you have in your life. They follow you because of what you have done. Leadership is an always ongoing, always learning, growing process. Okay.
If If you've learned a lot about leadership and making a movement, then let's watch a movement happen start to finish in under 3 minutes and dissect some lessons. First, of course, a leader needs the guts to stand alone and look ridiculous. But what he's doing is so simple, it's almost instructional. This is key. You must be easy to follow. Now here comes the first follower with a crucial role. He publicly shows everyone else how to follow. Notice how the leader embraces him as an equal. So it's not about the leader anymore. It's about them, plural. Notice how he's calling to his friends to join in. So it takes guts to be a first follower. You stand out and you brave ridicule yourself. Being a first follower is an underappreciated form of leadership. The first follower transforms a lone nut into a leader. If the leader is the flint, the first follower is the spark that really makes the fire. Now here's the second follower. This is a turning point. It's proof the first has done well. Now it's not a lone nut and it's not two nuts. 3 is a crowd and a crowd is news. A movement must be public. Make sure outsiders see more than just the leader. Everyone needs to see the followers because new followers emulate followers, not the leader. Now here come 2 more people, then 3 more immediately. Now we've got momentum. This is the tipping point, and now we have a movement. As more people jump in, it's no longer risky. If they were on the fence before, there's no reason not to join in now. They won't stand out, they won't be ridiculed, and they will be part of the in crowd if they hurry. And over the next minute, you'll see the rest who prefer to stay part of the crowd, because eventually they'd be ridiculed for not joining. And ladies and gentlemen, that is how a movement is made. So let's recap what we've learned. If you are a version of the shirtless dancing guy, all alone, remember the importance of nurturing your first few followers as equals, making everything clearly about the movement, not you. Be public, be easy to follow. But the biggest lesson here, did you catch it? Leadership is overglorified. Yes, it started with the shirtless guy, and he'll get all the credit, but you saw what really happened. It was the first follower that transformed a lone nut into a leader. There's no movement without the first follower. See, we're told that we all need to be leaders, but that would be really ineffective. The best way to make a movement, if you really care, is to courageously follow and show others how to follow. When you find a lone nut doing something great, have the guts to be the first person to stand up and join in.
Every Rotary project anywhere in the world always started out with one person who had an idea. And then they were able to grow and develop that idea by getting other Rotarians engaged and using that powerful network of Rotary to really change the world.
I want to make a difference, and I see Rotary as being the best vehicle worldwide to be able to make a difference to the community as a citizen of the world.
It's always a blessing to give back what you have received. Rotary is just a sweet place to be. The fellowship, the ability to serve. It's not about how old you are or how much you have.
We don't have to be Prime Minister to lead our country. Even one Rotarian can do lots of things.
People want to feel involved, and that's how they feel that they're actually contributing and giving something back to the society.
Every Rotarian's needs are different. And if we don't know what their needs are, then how are we going to fulfill them?
Right after someone gets in Rotary, you have to start fostering the opportunity for them to take a leadership role, whether they choose to or whether the club chooses them to.
You know, leader is a role model of everybody.
If you've got the heart, you're going to take your club forward in some fashion. And that's what it's really all about, all of us working together.
Teaching, leading, and then transferring the responsibility of what we are doing to them. The rewards are huge. The satisfaction's enormous. You know, I'm very proud to be a Rotarian.
Would you be interested in a medicine that reduces stress, increases happiness, and makes you live longer? What if I told you that medicine is free and that there are no negative side effects? The medicine I'm talking about is not packaged as a pill, powder, or potion. Rather, it's delivered to your body and mind through your service to others. When I was fresh out of college, I landed my dream job with the city of Los Angeles as a management trainee. I had visions of rising through the ranks of government, working alongside other enthusiastic young people in an exciting department like water and power. Instead, I was offered a position with the Department of Aging that delivered Meals on Wheels, job training, and other essential services for the city's low-income seniors. I'm not proud to admit that I almost turned that job down when I learned that most of my colleagues would be in their 70s. But I accepted it because I had rent and student loans to pay. On my very first day at work, I met Thelma. She was about 5 feet tall, in her mid-70s, and she looked fabulous in her sparkling silver stilettos that she wore every day. She was the most put-together woman I had ever met, and she was so dedicated to her work. She would often stay late to make sure that her fellow seniors got the services that they needed. Her dedication kept her physically strong and mentally sharp. She had more zest for life than anybody I had ever met, and she was so different from many of our clients who spent their days dwelling on the past or on the inevitable aches and pains that can come with aging. More than 25 years have gone by since I worked with Thelma. Experience and education have reinforced the valuable lesson that she taught me, one that can best be summed up in the words of Martin Luther King, who said, "Everybody can be great, because everybody can serve." For the past 7 years, I've been a member of the Rotary Club of Portland, Oregon, and like all local Rotary Club members, I also belong to Rotary International, which is one of the oldest and largest service organizations in the world. Now, as the president of my club's charitable trust, I love tracking the financial generosity of my fellow members who contribute so much to a wide variety of worthwhile causes. But what impresses me even more is their commitment to service. Every year, members of my club volunteer in a wide array of service projects in areas that include domestic violence prevention, homeless solutions, community grants, international service, peace building, environmental protection, and polio eradication. Members of Rotary who embrace service are some of the most joyful and optimistic people I know. However, I am really worried that someday my club will have to cut back on its service work because we won't have enough volunteers and enough members. This problem is not unique to my club. Over the past 2 decades, Rotary has seen a 25% decrease in its membership across the United States. A lot of other great service organizations are also struggling. The Shriners, Masons, Elks, Lions, and many nonprofits have seen significant declines in both members and volunteers over the past few decades. Why is it that so many wonderful service organizations and great nonprofits are failing to recruit and retain members? Well, one of the biggest reasons I feel is that they continue to appeal to people's altruism while ignoring the motivating power of self-interest. I know this from personal experience. When I served as membership chair of my Rotary Club, I felt all I needed to do was to go out in the world and share the good news. Tell people about our great service work, and people would flock to join us. I failed. As membership chair, I saw membership decline. If service organizations and nonprofits want to not only survive, but thrive, They must move away from altruism and appeal directly to people's self-interest, even if that approach seems crass. It used to be that altruistic appeals were enough. Back in the day when a lot of people worked 40-hour work weeks and had long lunch hours and weekends free, they had time to join a service organization or volunteer for a nonprofit. And in good chunks of our country, community service was seen as something that good citizens just did. Now, finding members and volunteers is a lot more challenging. Stagnating middle-class wages mean that a lot of people are working longer hours simply to get by. And many of us have a hard time leaving work at the workplace because our jobs now follow us 24/7 through text messages and emails. So, how do we break through? How do we attract people in? Well, I think we need to lean in to self-interest and move away from this notion of altruism. And this may sound rather self-serving to many of you. But here's the thing. If we have service organizations and nonprofits aren't growing, we could be very proud of ourselves, but we're going to die. And we need to give ourselves permission to better ourselves through service so we can sustain our commitment to serving others. We now live in this age in which we are just deluged with information. We say we don't have time, but what if we just turned off our devices, our smartphones, our computers, and televisions for just a little bit of time, and instead of spending it there, we devoted it to service? Think of the benefits that we would get out of that. What are they? What benefits might we see from service? Well, I'm going to go through just some. I don't have time for all of them. But if you're looking to live a healthier life, service can provide that. There's a lot of research that has come out that has shown strong correlations between those who serve and those who enjoy good health. One recent study found that people who volunteer 200 hours a year were 40% less likely to suffer from hypertension than non-volunteers. This is due to their being social, active, and yes, altruistic. If you seek a longer life, consider service. Consider service. 40 international studies found up to a 22% reduction in mortality rates for those who serve. And it's not going to take as much time as you might think. One study found that people who volunteer just 25 hours a year for a cause or organization that's important to them see a significant increase in their life expectancy. The emotional benefits of service are also worth emphasizing. If you want tranquility, service actually kicks off a process that makes this happen. When you serve others, your body produces oxytocin, which is a hormone that buffers stress and puts you into a more relaxed state. If you're wanting more friendships, consider service. A recent study found that 25% of all Americans say they don't have a single friend or family member to confide in when they have a problem. This social isolation is incredibly alarming, and it also presents a major public health challenge. Lack of friendships has been found to be a more significant indicator of early death than obesity, smoking, or high blood pressure. And when we serve others, we're associated with people who share similar values to ours. Can you imagine a better group of people to become potential friends? And when you serve others, what I've found is that oftentimes the people you're serving go on to become your friends as well. If you're craving happiness, service provides a way. When you serve, your brain is producing dopamine, which is this mood-elevating neurotransmitter. If you're runners, you've heard of this. You call it the runner's high. You get it from doing marathons and all these extreme events. Here's the good news. You don't have to run anywhere. You do not have to run anywhere. You can stand in place, or if you want to sit down, helping a single person, and you're going to get a huge dopamine rush. On top of that, When you serve others, you're giving your life a sense of purpose and mission that for many folks translates directly into higher levels of happiness. Yes, I can make a very compelling argument for service on scientific grounds. But for many of us, a much more convincing way to appreciate service is to look at the people we admire and see what they get out of it. My 86-year-old father and 81-year-old mother moved into an adult living community a couple of years ago. When they made a transition from a home they had lived in for 40 years to a small apartment, I worried about how well they would adapt. My worries were unfounded. Now, when I try to call my parents on the phone, they're never home. They're out serving people. They volunteer in the community garden. They volunteer in the convenience store for residents. They volunteer in the local elementary school. They volunteer on the welcoming and leadership committees. They write articles for the community newspaper. They are doing so much stuff. My brothers and I are convinced that our parents look and act much younger than most people their ages because of their service work. They're so busy volunteering that they don't have time to dwell on the passing of friends and relatives or the many other challenges that can face people as they age. I'm convinced that their service has provided them with a quality of life uplift that absolutely no medicine could possibly deliver. My hope is that someday a lot more people in the world will have this benefit of service that my parents enjoy. For this to happen, service organizations and nonprofits need to do a much better job sharing how volunteers benefit from service rather than relying on altruistic appeals that have lost their impact. But none of us should wait for this to happen. Instead, we should go out and talk to the people we admire who serve and ask them how it makes them feel. There's an excellent chance we're going to hear variations of, "I get so much more than I give." Then, let's ask them why. And listen very carefully to what they have to say. And let their why help motivate us to embrace the power of doing well for ourselves by doing good for others.
Hi, my name is Bruce Watson, and I have again assumed the District 6560 membership chair position for Rotary in the year 2021. Many of you know me from the membership strategy workshops I conducted last year. For those of you I have not met, I look forward to conducting a membership strategy workshop at your club this coming year. This workshop can be scheduled either in person or virtually. Membership growth has been the focus of RI President Mark Maloney this past year and will continue to be in the upcoming couple of years going forward. In 2018 and 19, Rotary Worldwide lost 7,800 members. 5,800 of those were from the US, and our district alone lost 120. So Rotary needs to stop the bleeding. To help with this effort, Zones 30 and 31 created a membership strategy workshop program. I am here to help your clubs establish strategies for both growing your club through the attraction of new members and retaining members by engaging them in your club's leadership and activities. The purpose of the workshop is to develop an action plan for your club to pursue in each of these areas of membership growth. The end result will be the growth of your clubs and helping you to do more good in your communities and around the world. I look forward to working with you in the year ahead. Thank you.
Hello, club presidents, and best of luck with your year. that's beginning very soon. And I wanted to reach out to you and let you know that I'm Jeff Lake, and I'm past president of the Rotary Club of Indianapolis, and I'm currently an assistant governor. But my role this year will be the district extension chair. And so club extension means a lot of things. It could mean starting a satellite club. It could mean starting a new club. It could be starting an e-club. There are many ways to do this now that Rotary has allowed us to be more flexible. And so really, if you have any questions at all about how to start new clubs, please let me know. We've had a lot of success with the Southport Satellite Club, and I know that we can use that success hopefully to help you in terms of creating new clubs in your area. So please reach out to me whenever you have a question at all about adding clubs in your area, whether they be satellite, e-clubs, or regular clubs. We'll be here to help you. And so don't hesitate to contact me whenever you need my help. Thank you.
Our connections make powerful things happen, uniting individuals and communities. We are Rotary. We are people of action. And together, we turn great ideas into reality by accessing our networks, our experience, and the best of ourselves to make a difference. Around the world, Rotary brings leaders together to build new friendships and to solve problems. Like in Austria, where generations work side by side to come up with innovative ways to build sustainable housing and community centers, everyone learning from each other. In India, volunteers run a mobile blood bank to help provide a steady blood supply for their local community. And in Taiwan, people are working hard to get vulnerable citizens the support and services they need. With over 1 million members, we know what people can do when they come together. In your backyard and around the world, there's power in our connections. Take action with us. Find out more at Rotary.org.
Hey, it's Michael Angelo Caruso. I teach presentation skills, but I'm also a lifetime Rotarian. We have started a Facebook group called Get the Word Out Rotary. There's also a Rotary playlist in my YouTube channel. Subscribe to be notified of new videos. I recently attended a district conference and heard some great speakers, as usual. This time I heard a speaker named Doug Griffiths, who is the author of a book, 13 Ways to Kill Your Community. I was so inspired, I've created 13 ways to kill your Rotary Club. This is the short version. The first way to kill your Rotary Club is to neglect the food. Look, for centuries, people have gathered around food and drink to establish relationships, to create projects, and just in general, just to keep up appearances. Food and the accompanying ceremony is an asset to your Rotary Club, not a liability. The second way to kill your Rotary Club is to not attract businesses. Local businesses can help you identify the movers and shakers in your community. These people often make the best Rotarians. Work hard to be appealing when it comes to the length of your meeting, the time and day of your meeting, and also the location of your meeting. If you're not attracting business people, you are missing out. The third way to kill your community and your Rotary Club is to not engage the youth. Focus on the young people in your community. Why? Because parents join Rotary and kids grow up to be Rotarians. Catering to youth is one of Rotary's 5 areas of service, and besides, giving back to youth just makes sense. The fourth way to kill your Rotary Club is to remain convinced that you don't have to sell Rotary. The world is a busy place, ladies and gentlemen. People make decisions based on all types of value propositions. Make sure your club's value prop is undeniable. And here's a hint. Your goal is not to get all of your Rotarians to agree on the value proposition. Your goal is to cultivate a value proposition that resonates with tons of people. The fifth way to grow your Rotary Club is to kill your Rotary Club, is to let other service clubs do the heavy lifting. I'll bet that there's a neighboring club that has a lock on your community, right? That's your perception anyway. Well, this should encourage your Rotary Club, not discourage it. Remember, Walgreens always builds next to Rite Aid. Home Depot always builds next to Lowe's. Competition is good for your club. Take advantage of it. The sixth way to kill your Rotary Club is to not worry about first impressions. Every successful business enterprise worries about something called curb appeal, a fresh coat of paint, competitive analysis. Constantly monitor what first-time visitors think when they come to your club. Look for patterns and address the weak spots. The seventh way to kill your club is to not work with other area organizations. Some groups in your area have no doubt figured it out. Monitor the local Chamber of Commerce, other social groups, and other service clubs. Hitch your wagon to groups with bigger wagons, and everyone will be the better for it. Engage in cross-promotions and host joint events. The eighth way to kill your Rotary Club is to live in the past. Yeah, keep touting your achievements from 5 years ago as current events, and work hard at self-aggrandizement so that you become delusional about what's really happening to your formerly great Rotary Club. The ninth way to kill your Rotary Club is to shut out your seniors. Remember, a good Rotary Club is a mirror of the people in its community. Seniors have money, and most of them have time. They all have something called institutional memory, a real asset to your Rotary Club. The 10th way to kill your club is to reject new stuff. Yeah, that Facebook thing will never last. Push back against change. Resist technology. Just because if you stop trying new things, you will get exactly what you deserve, a stale and antiquated Rotary Club. The 11th way to kill your club is to ignore outsiders. Keep discounting visitors' opinions because they don't understand us. Be comfortable with the fact that your Rotary Club is friendly but not welcoming, and you can be comfortable in that fact because that's what the visitors are telling you. The 12th way to kill your club is to grow complacent. Remember, apathy is the beginning of the end of your club. And the 13th way to kill your Rotary Club is to keep thinking that someone else will make the changes that need to happen. Don't take responsibility, and your club will tank faster than it otherwise might. Do not count on next year's president. This is your job. Let's get it done. You can get more great strategies for marketing your Rotary Club on the Get the Word Out Rotary Facebook group. And of course, you can also check out my YouTube channel, which features a playlist on Rotary. Thanks for all you do for the greatest service organization in the world.
For years, we described Rotary by the numbers. 1.2 million members in over 35,000 clubs in over 220 countries and regions. Impressive figures for sure, but they only tell part of the story. What numbers can't convey is the essence of Rotary. What sets us apart and inspires people to get involved? So we interviewed members from around the world to discover why they're passionate about Rotary. And what we found was a new way of talking about Rotary that focuses on some core ideas. Through Rotary, you can join leaders from all continents, cultures, and occupations. You can exchange ideas, bringing our expertise and diverse perspectives to solve some of the world's toughest problems. And you can take action to bring lasting change to communities around the world. It's not a new story, but it's a new way of telling our story, one that conveys the top 2 reasons people join Rotary: for friendship and to make a difference in their communities. When you share your passion for Rotary, you have the power to change a stranger into a volunteer, a colleague into a donor, and a family member into a Rotarian. So the next time someone asks you, "What is Rotary?" you have a clear and compelling answer. Through Rotary, I have a friend, partner, and an advisor in communities around the world who are helping me make a difference.
You will be told your whole life that you need to learn to listen. I would say that you need to learn to be the last to speak. I see it in boardrooms every day of the week. Even people who consider themselves good leaders, who may actually be decent leaders, will walk into a room and say, here's the problem, here's what I think, but I'm interested in your opinion, let's go around the room. It's too late. The skill to hold your opinions to yourself until everyone has spoken does two things. One, it gives everybody else the feeling that they have been heard. It gives everyone else the ability to feel that they have contributed. And two, you get the benefit of hearing what everybody else has to think before you render your opinion. The skill is really to keep your opinions to yourself. If you agree with somebody, don't nod yes. If you disagree with somebody, don't nod no. Simply sit there, take it all in, and the only thing you're allowed to do is ask questions so that you can understand what they mean and why they have the opinion that they have. You must understand from where they are speaking, why they have the opinion they have, not just what they are saying. And at the end, you will get your turn. It sounds easy, it's not. Practice being the last to speak. That's what Nelson Mandela did. Nelson Mandela is a particularly special case study in the leadership world because he is universally regarded as a great leader. You can take other personalities, and depending on the nation you go to, we have different opinions about other personalities. But Nelson Mandela, across the world, is universally regarded as a great leader. He was actually the son of a tribal chief. And he was asked one day, how did you learn to be a great leader? And he responded that he would go with his father to tribal meetings. And he remembers two things when his father would meet with other elders. One, they would always sit in a circle. And two, his father was always the last to speak.
Okay, are you guys ready to play my live trivia game? If you want to unmute. Okay, if you'll go out to the Kahoot app. Okay. I'm waiting to give you the pin here. If you're ready, the pin number is 148-544. And I'm having just a few little technical difficulties here. If you'll give me a second. It won't let me. There we go. Hi, everybody. Now we've got it. So is everybody in? I don't see everybody. Once you all get in there, or most of you anyway, then we will start it. Once we start it, we won't be able to allow anyone in. I have 39 people on tonight. So far only 19 people have logged in. So we'll give it just a few more minutes.
Possible to put the password, oh, there it is. Got it.
On your screen, yeah. The pin is 148-544.
And so do I have to go to another website or?
Well, I want you to use your cell phone.
Use my cell phone, okay.
Yeah. And then what will happen is that it will ask questions. I'll read them, but as it asks the questions, you answer the questions on your cell phone. And so it's color coordinated on your phone. So you'll see 4 colors when there's 4 choices, or 2 colors when there's 2 choices. We're up to 25. Is anybody still working on getting logged in? All right, let's go ahead and start. You see your name? All right, here we go. The blank is the most important component of Rotary's organizational structure. So you'll see you've got colors on your phone. The blank is the most important component of Rotary's organizational structure. Okay, so this meme that I'm showing you, you see up in the left corner, it says D Vance. That's Debbie Vance. She creates a lot of iconography that you know, icons that you can use on Facebook or wherever. Let's go to the next and see how we're doing. Who got the most points? Ooh, Miki, nice job. Next question. Great leaders do this. Give unsolicited advice, nod in agreement to show that they are listening, ask questions and speak last, only invite like-minded people to the table. Nice job, everybody. Another Debbie Vance meme. Oh, Nick. 2 points ahead. Next question. The 2020-2021 District Governor's 6560 is from what club? Muncie, Rockville, Indianapolis, Shelbyville. Most of us knew that one. Great. Okay, next. Let's see where we are now. Who's in charge? Oh, Nick, you're up there still. Good job, Nick. True or false? Rotary has 6 areas of focus.
What?
Show the media. Notice it says 7 areas of focus. Last week we talked about the new area of focus. So that was a trick question, but I also put up this graphic to help you remember that there are 7. And the 7th one is what, Salim?
Environmental.
The environment. The environment has been added as our 7th area of focus. Okay, let's go on to the next question. Integrity, leadership, fellowship, diversity, and service are a part of Rotary's mission statement, Rotary's vision statement, Rotary's core values, Rotary's objectives. Nice job, everybody. Notice the picture says our core values, and there they are. All right, next question. Mel is now in first place. True or false? The object of Rotary is to encourage and foster the ideal of service. True. All right, next question. District 6560 has a YouTube channel where you can take grants management training. That is true. And this meme is done by Evan Burrell from Australia. He's another person you want to follow to get these kinds of things. Next question. The Learning Center, where you can complete online certification, is found where? dacdb.com, wabash.edu, rotary.org, or rizones30-31.org. And you guys are welcome to unmute and talk during this time. You notice wabash.edu, our district governor is a graduate of Wabash College. 25 of us got that one right. Next question. True or false? Clubs can leverage Rotary Foundation grants with DDF to maximize their project's impact. True. Everybody got that one. Good job.
Hey, Jennifer.
Yes.
This is Jeff. Maybe we should say what DDF is for some of those who are new.
District designated funds. We're going to get into that in detail next week, but okay. That's something that I think we talked about last week, but those are the funds that come back to us. Well, I don't want to give it, we have more questions that'll probably address that, but yes, we will definitely explain what DDF is. I was about to give you the answer of another question. Next. Where can you share photos, videos, and information about your club's projects? Rotary Showcase on Rotary.org, club and/or district social media pages, personal social media, or all of these. Nice job. Next question. How are we doing? Mel? Oh, look, I'm in the lead. I shouldn't be playing because I did create this. Next question, Abby. True or false? The club president needs to make sure the secretary and treasurer have an account on Rotary.org. Very good. It is the club president's responsibility to make sure that the secretary and the treasurer have Rotary.org accounts. The first Rotary Club meeting was held on February 23rd, blank, in Chicago, Illinois. 1776, 1905, 1989, 1869. $1905. Good. As president, if you want to have the most effective style of leadership, you need to be the club conductor, administrator, dictator, martyr. The answer is conductor. We learned that in the first session, the conductor. Next question. Nick is in the lead and everybody else is gaining in points. Doug's making a comeback with 3 in a row. Good job, Doug. How many clubs belong to District 6560? 44, 24, 64, 84.
The answer is really 43.
Well, we learned that last week that Marion and Marion North are going to be joining, but we also have heard that Southport is about to become a full-fledged club soon, hopefully this year. So the information is correct as of last week. There's still 44 clubs if you were to go on DACDB. Next. True or false? Rotary Club Central is where you see your club's profile and goals. It is true. Rotary Club Central is where your club's profile and goals are located, and we'll take a look at that today. Next. The district governor nominee will serve as governor in 2 years. Who is District 6560's DGN? Ray Cramp, Charles Shoemate, Mickey McAllen, Joseph Collins.
Oh shoot, I got the dang it. Oh, no.
Did I throw you for a loop on this one?
Oh, I'm
asking for DGE.
I know the answer. I just messed up.
Mickey McAllen.
I know that. Sorry, Mickey. I know that. Dang.
It's okay, Karen. I still love you.
Oh, man.
I hope Mickey got that one right.
Jeez. Oh.
True or false? A lawyer who spoke at a club meeting later contacts you for a member's email address. You should share that information.
No. The answer is no.
And the answer is no. And that was found in the online club president's training through Rotary.org. You are not to give out anything other than a club member's name and what club they're in. Next question. Preventing harassment is blank responsibility. The club boards, the club presidents, everyone's, nobody's. It is everyone's responsibility to prevent harassment. Good job, everybody. Next question. In 1917, which RI president inspired the establishment of the Rotary Foundation? Paul Harris, Michael Shealy, Holger Knack, Arch Klumpf.
I didn't realize Michael Shealy was that old.
No, I didn't either.
Well, because we had one of the original fours, last name was Shealy, and we had Michael talk to everybody last week. I thought that would be a good
Yes, that's great.
option. Yeah.
It's great.
Next. Any allegation of harassment involving youths must be reported to Rotary International within 7 days, 72 hours, 60 days, a reasonable time limit. Again, this one is on the online training for club presidents. 72 hours.
I never even checked it.
Next. Nick is still in the lead. RI Zones 3031 is also known as the Home of the Brave, Heart of America, Flyover States, Twilight Zone. Good job, Heart of America. Nick
I'd like a
is
redo.
still
My
in the
computer
lead.
froze for about the last 5 questions. So
Uh-oh.
start the whole game over, please.
No. Zoom offers a 20% discount to Rotary clubs. True or false? And notice this picture has the top 10 reasons to embrace online meetings while we have to. True. There is a 20% discount. It's called Zoom Rotary. When you go to buy the Zoom programming, if you put in the code Zoom Rotary, you get 20% off. Next question. Women were welcomed officially as Rotary Club members in 1905. It is false. It was not until the Council on Legislation voted to approve women as members in 1989 that they were officially members of Rotary. Next question. True or false? A satellite club has at least 8 individuals and are members of the host club. The picture is of our vision statement. Together we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves. And in that format, you can use that on Facebook as a cover photo. Next. True or false? Rotary Global Rewards is the member benefits program designed exclusively for Rotarians. We only have a few more questions to go, but they kind of help with what we're doing. Come on, guys. Nick is still in the lead. If you answer faster, you get more points. True or false? Rotary Leadership Institute was developed to foster and develop leadership potential. And that is true. Giving to the Rotary Foundation comes back to the district for projects when we give to the annual fund, the World Fund, the Endowment Fund, the Disaster Relief Fund.
How are we doing? Can you pick those up off the floor? Gray's about to eat them.
The annual fund. Thank you for getting that one right.
Amen.
Next question. Rick's gaining on you, Nick. I mean, Greg's gaining on you, Nick. How can you kill your Rotary Club? by not focusing on businesses, youth, and seniors, by being friendly but not welcoming, by not selling Rotary's value. All of these. Nice job. Next question. The top 2 reasons people join Rotary clubs are friendship and to make a difference. Couldn't stump you on that one. Good job, everybody. Next question. People of Action is Rotary's public image campaign. Good job. All right. And I believe, is this the last question? Last one. Rotaract clubs are for ages 18 to 30 and are members of Rotary International. Well, when I wrote this question, it was true. And I read today that they are going to take away that 30-year-old limit for Rotaract. But I have not been able to research that completely, but be watching for changes to Rotaract and the age limit. It will be for younger people, but I think they're going to do away with the 30.
We'll say when we were reactivating Rotaract at Ball State, we ran into issues with the university getting our bylaws passed, and they made us take out the age restriction because that was seen as what is it, discriminatory against old people, I guess.
Ah, so look at that. Nick is in first place. Woohoo! Greg, and Greg, I know that's supposed to be Rockville, and KK.
Yeah. Can't type.
That's all right. So I have a text from someone telling me that it has already happened, that Rotaract has taken away that restriction of age 30. Okay, next up, we're back all together. I have a couple of more things I wanted to show you after the Kahoot. And that's something you can do with your clubs if you wanted to create a quiz with them. All right, Rotary resources. I have listed here Google as the top resource. Did you know that you can Google almost anything to do with Rotary and find it? So when I was looking for multiple donor forms, I just went on to Google and typed in Rotary multiple donor, and it popped up. So while you're on your computers, if you'll go onto Google and type in women in Rotary and tell me what you find. Do you see a Rotary.org?
Mm-hmm.
History of women in Rotary?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's where you can find out more information. You can see that starting in 1950, there was a move to have women added into Rotary. Vimeo and YouTube, if you have those up, take a look at Vimeo and or YouTube and type in there Rotary International. Vimeo and YouTube are both free platforms that you can create for yourself or for your club. There's a Welcome to Rotary on Vimeo. Rotary International, What We See on Vimeo, and they're all like 30 seconds, a minute 30, lots of those videos that you can do in your club. And especially now that you're doing things virtually, then you can run those videos as well. Facebook groups, you've heard on some of the pre-recorded sessions of different Facebook groups, like Get the Word Out Now with Michael Angelo Caruso. There are other Facebook groups out there, Grow Rotary. Anybody have any favorites on Facebook that you like, that you follow?
I think Zone 3031 is a good one.
Yep, that's a good one. Rotary Club Members Public Image Graphics and Ideas Hub is one that I follow. I'm looking at my phone for other ones that are Rotary related.
There's a Rotary Metalhead Fellowship on Facebook.
Okay. There's a Rotary Youth Exchange District 6560 page. There's a Together We Grow page, a Women in Rotary page, a Family of Rotary page. There's also Rotary International has a page, and there's Rotary International President has a page so that you can get things from our president right away. But there are a lot of different Facebook groups out there. If you're a Facebook friend of mine, you can just look on what groups I follow, and you could add, you know, some of those. If you go out on the Rotary Foundation Vimeo or the Rotary Foundation YouTube, or if you go to rotary.org, you can find videos and PowerPoint templates that are specific to the Rotary Foundation. Same thing for Rotary International. They have videos and PowerPoint templates that you can use in your clubs for presentations or for emails or for meetings that follow the brand of Rotary. And so that's why I've also listed here the Brand Center at rotary.org. That's where you get logos that are official logos with Rotary. And then the Heart of America Zones 3031, they have webinars posted up there, and there's the website rizones30-31.org, where you can learn a lot of things that other leaders are putting together in our zone. Has anyone done a Zoom with the zone?
Yes. Yes.
I think they're very productive and very informative. When they're done and they're recorded, they are found out on the zone website. So that's another place that you can take a look at things.
Rotary wanted to support and strengthen clubs. So in 2012, we launched Rotary Club Central. It was an online tool for clubs to set goals and achieve them. But some of you didn't like it. You said it was slow, complicated, confusing. We realized that we had to do better. So we listened to you and began again. We made Rotary Club Central faster, simpler, and more friendly. Now it does what you asked for. Makes it easy for your club to set goals. Tracks the impact of your projects. Lets you view trends and plan for the future. And helps us help you. The improved Rotary Club Central will help your club succeed. Give it a try. We bet that this time you'll like what you see, and your club will be better for it.
So, do you have a Rotary.org profile created? Because that is not something that's automatically generated for you like DACDB. You would have to go out to rotary.org and create that yourself. This is where you're going to set club goals as the club president. You're going to track your service projects and your volunteer hours. You're going to report on club projects. You're going to find your individual donor report to the Rotary Foundation, and you can order materials for your club here. You can also go to Russell Hampton to order materials for your club as well. One of the things that I get from Russell Hampton is this book called Rotary Basics. It's a great book to tell you all about the history, which we went through that in week 1. But when you have new members, you can also get a new member kit that includes the Rotary Basics book to help them out. You can also register for your online training for club president. Your club secretary can do online training there as well. Joe, do you have the citation ready? I'll stop sharing my screen so you can share yours.
I thought I might just go over it a little bit, Jenna, if I could.
Sure.
They've been very liberal this year. The Rotary International has decided to put 25 available goals on Rotary Club Central. And they're asking us as club presidents to choose 13 of their goals they've suggested to report to them your feelings about what you might be able to achieve. All of these goals are how related. How we may serve and how many club members. But to give you an idea, as we're thinking club membership, it's how many total members does your club want to have by the end of the year? How many members are going to participate in club service projects? Sponsoring club members during the year. Club members being at least of one Rotary Action Group, an RAG. How many attendees of your club will attend a district conference? How many will be a part of a Rotary Fellowship during the year? How much money will be contributed to the foundation? So in each and every case, these are wide open for you to look at and find those that you know you can attain. And by the end of the year, you'll personally go back into Rotary Club Central, and sign off on them. They're very easily achieved. And you don't have to set lofty goals. These need to be attainable goals. These are something that I'll be glad to work with you on helping if you need some help to putting in Rotary Club Central. But I would sure love to see each and every one of you attain the citation.
Yeah.
And so the citation is a great way to set up attainable goals. Like the district governor just said, we have all heard of SMART goals. Well, how do you know if your club was successful? It depends on a lot of different factors, but if you're following the citation, and I'm looking here, my Rotary, I'm going to share with you my this is the member center, myrotary.org. The website updated over the weekend, so all of this is new. But if you go to Member Center, which is where I'm at right now, if you want to go with me, if you're on your computer, you scroll down. There's a lot of things here that are important, but right here in the online tools, you have Rotary Club Central. That's where we're going to put our goals in. Okay, and here's the Learning Center where you can take your president's training, and you can also find the club president manual. It's in PDF form. We could not order a paper form, but it is available on PDF. If you need me to email that to you, let me know, but you can find it here under the Learning Center. So I'm going to go on Rotary Club Central. And now I have to log back in again. And like I said, this website updated over the weekend, so this is a little bit of new territory for me. One of the things that I learned as club president is when I was putting my goals in, I needed to go into service projects and put those in first, and then that would automatically populate my goal center. But with the new website, a lot of that has changed. And I apologize, it must be my internet is slow, but you can see Rotary Foundation is here. Here's where you have foundation reports. You have the learning and reference, club roles, This is where you would find club president information. Take action, a lot of projects and things here that you can find out about. Exchange ideas, news and media, and then the member center is where I'm hoping that we can get to. Have you been able to put your goals in as club president? Okay, mine's not working for some reason, but that's where you're going to put your goals in, and you can track that Rotary citation where you get 13 out of those 25 by the end of the year to earn that special citation. So next up is DAC-DB. And there's a lot of information on DAC-DB that we need to cover. The biggest thing about DAC-DB is the Help tab. So here is DAC-DB. The Help tab. If you click on the Help tab, you can find over to the far left, you can see where it says DAC-DB training. I'm going to click on that. And in the blue, you're going to see another DAC-DB training above university. Click on that. There are modules here. Let's look, go back over to DAC-DB training and let's look at DAC-DB university. There are trainings here that you can take. And if we go back to DAC-DB training, I want to show the videos as well, DAC-DB videos. How to do your login and password, how to edit club positions. It's real important to have your club foundation chair named, your club secretary named, all of the offices that your club have, because there are emails that go out specific to your office that you're serving under. So if your club secretary is also your club foundation chair, you need to designate that person as both items. That way when an email goes out to foundations, they do get that information, and you can learn how to do that on this video. How to add a new member and how to do the Rotary International compare. That way you can see if the information on Rotary International and on DAC-DB are the same and make those changes. Lots of different things you can do under the Help tab. Next, I'm going to go up to the top. You can see you've got Home, My Data, My Club, District, and Help. Let's go to My Data. Now, this account was created so that we could do training, but on yours, I hope that your photo is there. It's very important to have an updated photo so that when the district governor or anybody else is coming to your club or wants to speak to your club, they get to see who you are, and it's not just a cold call. They've already seen your face. You can put your information here. Up to the left, it says Edit Member. When you click on that, you can update your information, your photo. You can update your photo, your contact information. Now, one thing I'll let you know, because I changed jobs, and when I joined Rotary, I had my work email address as my email address. Well, when I changed jobs, I wasn't going to have that email address. So I had to edit it to my home email. And then I had to jump through a couple more hoops to make sure that I didn't get deleted off the system or that I wasn't receiving emails because of the discrepancy in the two different emails. So this is where you can make those kind of changes. You can add your spouse information, a lot of other information. You can click around here later to find that information out. Let's go to My Club tab at the top. This is where you're going to see your club. And Terry, can you unmute and talk to us about creating shortcuts? Terry Harvey is our district administrator.
Sure.
Thanks.
Are you hearing me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, so there is the ability to customize the voice that you see in the left-hand column.
Do you have headphones, Terry, so that we can hear you better, because you're breaking up for us?
Yeah, that'll take me a minute, but I can do that.
Okay, that would be very helpful. Thank you. There's a way that you can create shortcuts so that you're not always coming back to the My Club tab. So while she's doing that, I want to show you how to create your email signature. So if you'll click on Pmail, and then over to the left, you see where it says Manage Templates. We're going to click on Manage Templates, and we're going to do a personal one because this is your personal email. So we've already put one in here that it needs to have your name, your office, and your club. You could put your email in there and your cell phone if you want to. You don't have to, but for the Rotary citation, one of the things that I remember is having the correct logo in your email. And so I've put that logo out on the district page, but let's create a new template, and we're going to put Dear, and then insert tag up above, and we want, let's scroll down to find first name. Okay, now we want to put a comma there. And so all of your emails are going to be whatever is listed as their first name. So if you've got an initial in that first name, it's going to say Dear X, Dear J, whatever your first initial is. Then you're going to write in your name and all of that. And then the next thing I want to show is inserting the photo. So we're going to go up right there. Image. And we're going to browse server because it is already saved on the server. If it weren't saved on the server, you could click the upload tab, click browse server, there we go. And we're going to look for district, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over is this year's theme. So let's double click on that. And we're going to tell it, okay, well, that's way too big, so you can resize it to whatever you want. Larger, smaller, whatever. But that's how you do that. And then you're going to go up to the right, wait, over here, left side, top row, there's a little 5¼ inch floppy disk. For those of you that are younger than 50, that means save. So click on that, and then you can save that as your personal official signature. And then whenever you're sending out email to your club, you can use that template, and then we can select the people in your group. All right, let's X out of all of that. And then Terry, are you ready?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, so let's create a shortcut.
Okay, so if you go to the upper right-hand side of this screen where the settings icon wheel is located, and I won't be able to navigate right, so whomever is able to do so.
Okay. Do we
Up
have
here,
settings?
this little wheel and the. Okay. Okay, so you see which ones are designated there already. The top 6 are the ones that are currently showing on the left-hand side. So if you'd like something else that you use more often, for example, Pmail is probably one of those that belongs there, then you can move it over. Perfect.
Okay.
And then set my configuration in the bottom. Yep. And now that would be one that should show up there on that left-hand column in the bottom, at the bottom.
Okay.
So there's the ones that would populate as shortcuts, those top 6.
Okay. Thank you. All right.
Sure.
I also want to talk about calendar. So let's click on calendar. And as you can see, we have today's training with the Zoom invite right there for anybody who wants to use that. If you want to put in your club's Zoom, my recommendation would be to create your Zoom as a recurring event and then share it on this calendar. And that way your Zoom ID and password never change. They're always the same. You don't have to redo it every week. It's just a recurring club meeting. And then that way those who want to join in can actually see what's going on your Zoom. Let's go back to my club again. Thank you. There are other things on here for you to kind of play around with, but the one I want to show you is club grants. I'm going to click on club grants. And don't click on anything just yet, but if you look, it says District Grants Overview 2018-2019. It's also in red. That's to let you know that you're in the wrong year. You want to make sure you're in the correct year. So let's click on that. And we want to change the organizational year. So if it was last year, we'd do 2019-20, or if it's this year, and then click on change organizational year. And now that red has gone away so that we're in the correct year. These are all the instructions on how to fill out a district grant. And this year we did receive quite a bit of funds back, and we were able to turn that around in short order because we have an amazing team of district foundation leaders. Joe, do you want to make a comment on that?
You're exactly right, Jennifer. We have some amazing district grant leaders, and we were able to submit 20 clubs grants. We had 25 grants received this year that were turned around in less than a week. We were able to get our grant cycle in before the end of the Rotary year and have in the neighborhood of $107,000 to $108,000 that will be used to match clubs grants for their DDF funds coming from the annual fund. We also currently have two global grants that are in the works, and one has already been received. The City of Indianapolis Downtown Club has received a $25,000 grant. So the grant team has done a great job. The submission of those and the detail on these pages on DECDB are really conclusive. Steve does a good job keeping us updated, and it's very much appreciated.
Thank you. Will you click on one of those projects for us so we can see what it looks like? Just pick any one is fine. Oh, Camp Rotary. Thanks for picking my club. All right, so you'll see what was asked for and what was expensed. And let's scroll down to the bottom of the page. You have all these great pie charts with analysis and all of that. You see the grant documents are right there for you to look at. Keep scrolling down. Is that the bottom of the page? Oh, I see what I'm looking for. Right there where it says grant photos. We don't have any. We are not doing a very good job of telling our story. So when you have grants, please take photos. Videos are great as well. All right, so that's in a nutshell where you would fill out information for grants. My Club again. Let's go back up to My Club tab at the very top. Thank you. Easy story. Okay, so on an easy story, if we go back to the home tab at the very top, click on that. Do you see all these stories from other clubs? It is through Easy Story. Is that correct, Terry?
Yes.
So you would make your, right. So if you're wondering how other clubs are getting their information out there, it's through Easy Story. Those are the highlights that go ahead.
Sorry, and clicking one of the choices to be that you want it to show up on the home page. There's about 4 options in which you could consider that it appear, and so that would have to be the one you designate for it to show up here.
So tonight I just wanted to touch on a few items. I'm expecting to have a lot more questions as we go along. You know, and that's, you know, this format is for asking those questions. We're done with DACDB unless anybody has a question. Okay, so I have one more thing I wanted to show you, but before I do that, is there anything else, Joe, that you would like to make sure that we cover tonight on leading your club?
One of the items that you just touched on, Jennifer, and we have discussed a little bit with the Foundation Committee, is requesting that the grant applicants who are successful submit 2 photos following the initiation and conclusion of the grant with a short synopsis of the project, so that we all get to gain momentum on some of the projects going on throughout our district. I think that's pretty important that we see what everyone else is doing. We might have a handle on something that's very similar, and we can use that in our communities or abroad. But that is one thing that we have talked about, and we will continue to talk about as a possible idea for next year's grant applications.
It's great to tell your story because, like you saw, my Crawfordsville Club, we haven't done a good job of that. So we will definitely work on that. I have one more item I wanted to share with you, and then we are done. So here we go. It's just a short one more thing.
Does your club celebrate World Polio Day? Do you know when World Polio Day is? October 24th is World Polio Day, and it was established by Rotary International to commemorate the birth of Jonas Salk, who led the first team to develop a vaccine against polio. Use of this inactivated poliovirus vaccine and subsequent widespread use of the oral polio virus, developed by Albert Sabin, led to the establishment of the Global Polio Eradication Initiative in 1988. Polio is a crippling and potentially fatal infectious disease. There is no cure, but there are safe and effective vaccines. Polio can be prevented through immunization. Polio vaccine given multiple times almost always protects a child for life. The strategy to eradicate polio is therefore based on preventing infection by immunizing every child until transmission stops and the world is polio-free. As of the 22nd of July, I have a graphic here showing you that 94 children were paralyzed by polio, 34 in Afghanistan, 60 in Pakistan. Significant reduction from the numbers of 2019. But one thing I want you to notice, I only see 2 countries there. What happened to Nigeria?
This is a story of historic progress, a story that doesn't exist without you. Our unifying effort in 3 decades of action demonstrates our commitment and endurance. And our progress thus far shows that a polio-free world is achievable. Individuals, clubs, partners, and governments share a collective vision to improve the health of every single child. We've eliminated polio in some of the most difficult places, overcoming obstacles and navigating complex issues. Our successes prove that polio will be eradicated, and while ending a global disease is not easy, as Rotary, we don't give up. We'll continue our fight until each child is protected. This isn't possible without you. So stay involved, keep pushing forward, engage your clubs and communities. Start a social media conversation and increase visibility on the importance of this global effort. Hold events and fundraisers on World Polio Day and throughout the year. Advocate to governments about the importance of supporting polio eradication. Make a contribution and invest in one of the largest health initiatives ever. Be a character in our story. Be the solution to our challenge. It's because of each and every one of you that we will improve our future by making polio a disease of the past. Eradication is possible, so let's keep our promise.
That's all I have for tonight. We've gone just a wee bit over. We started a little late. Are there any questions about leading your club as club president that you want to ask me or any of our district leaders that are on?
Jennifer, this is Melody from Westfield.
Yes.
I have a quick question, just because we just saw this about end polio. Is there anything at the district level that's planned for October 24th?
Yes, we will have a polio day in the district, and this, just by the way, is a past district governor's birthday. So we will celebrate and contribute and do what we can for the informational side of End Polio Now. It will be a large campaign. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jennifer, this is Jeff Lake. Since
Yes.
we're going to have a lot more satellite clubs hopefully here in the future, do you think that could be included on Rotary Club Locator at some point? At this point, I don't believe they are. And so if somebody's looking for a certain time, certain day, they're going to miss out on it unless those clubs show up.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. I know that our club is looking at doing satellite club as well. One of the things we did not talk about that I intended to was DACDB Mobile, and just what you're talking about, Rotary Club Locator. That's where you can go visit other clubs. Wondering if that was a DACDB or a Rotary question, but that's one we can look into, adding satellite clubs to that list. Good question, Jeff. Anybody have a question about satellite clubs or e-clubs or passport clubs or new club models? Okay. You guys can all unmute if you want to and talk about anything that you want to talk about. Last week, a really good thing was brought up about what do we do for fundraisers now that everything is being canceled. So we don't have any answers to that question yet, but I do appreciate the question. I did do some work looking for ideas. So if you wanted to Google that, fundraisers for nonprofits, there's a lot of different websites out there giving nonprofits help with how to continue to do their fundraising. Terry, do you have anything to add? We just touched on DACDB. We didn't really go onto a deep dive. Is there anything that you see club presidents need to make sure that they're following?
The things in question at this time have been directed their way, and I will continue, obviously, to to send those types of communications. We still have clubs that we're looking for full listing of club officers as far as key club officers. Most clubs have included their president's photos. We'd like to see other key club officers, as you've mentioned, do that, because we're working on, of course, our district directory, and hence the importance of accurate information, club information as well. If your club is changed, of course, in this interim period, if you are not meeting in your physical location or it has changed, then that would be something to also update on DACDB. My information, if you are struggling and need additional help, is on the help tab in the right-hand box. You will find my contact information specifically. And feel free to email or phone at your convenience, and I typically can respond within about a 48-hour window, and don't keep traditional office hours, but do work around when it's convenient for you.
Terry's been a great help to me when I was club president, and I would call her a lot. There was just so much I didn't know, and that's why I wanted to make sure I gave you guys as much information as I could. The DACDB club officer is so important. So if you have, like in our club treasurer is treasurer this year, and he's going to be treasurer next year. So we list him as treasurer, but we also list him as treasurer-elect, because there are emails that go out to each of these offices. So when the new Rotary International president and the new district governor come in, they like to know who's going to be serving the same year that they are. So if you have a recurring club officer, make them the current officer and that officer-elect, so that they're getting the appropriate emails.
Terry, thank you for your comments. Please do utilize Terry as a resource. She's a wealth of knowledge on the use of DACDB. If there's an issue that would come up, she is very competent and more than willing to help us in any way.
So since this is an unusual year for club presidents, would you be interested in meeting together as a group on Zoom, whether monthly or quarterly, just to kind of pass ideas back and forth? Excuse me.
Jennifer, you're stealing my thunder.
Oh, okay. Thunder away.
That was going to come next week. We've got a couple of other points of order, but if you would like, I would like to create a president's forum. And it's not an attendance type thing, but if there are questions, we could have a scheduled day per month, maybe 7 o'clock one evening, we can come up with that are the most conducive for all of us. But just throw out some ideas. And I know as a club president, you do have questions, and we've got 43 others, and maybe there's an answer out there. But I'm going to throw that out to you next week and see if we don't want to put together a president's forum of some type. We could just get together and socialize and throw 3 or 4 points out and gather for discussion. Thanks, Jennifer.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm sorry. I knew that we had talked about it,
yes.
But I was trying to think, because I take all of these notes, do I have everything that we said we wanted to talk about? And I apologize for the herky-jerkiness of that second follower video, but that was the best version I could get of that. And sometimes we forget as leaders, we're also followers. So
I don't think you need to apologize at all. Things have gone extremely well again tonight, and it's been very valuable. We've run over, yes, but I think we've kept everyone's interest. So
okay,
again,
good.
Jennifer, you've done a great job.
Thanks.
Wonderful job.
Thank you. Well, we'll get together again next Tuesday. I'm gonna plan more opportunity for interaction. So have your questions ready, your ideas. It won't be quite so much pre-recorded, I guess I should be trying to say. I want to make it more interactive, and we're going to be talking about doing good in the world. So if you have projects that have been successful that you want to talk about, it might help the other presidents come up with ideas that they can do in their club. And we touched on RLI a little bit last week, and it was also in our little trivia. But RLI is a great opportunity for you to talk with other Rotary Club leaders and get ideas. I got to know a lot more Rotarians when I did RLI, but I asked Jonna Scott, she's in the Rockville Club, if she could put together a video for us, but I think I may just ask her to come on live if she can, to talk about Rotary Leadership Institute and why it's a benefit and how we're going to do it differently now in the year of Zoom. How many RLI graduates do I have online right now? 1, 2. Okay. Miki.
Hey, Jennifer or
Yes.
Joe, this is Scott. So one of the things that I learned last week on the call, which was helpful to me, was one of the 7 items was economic development, which I didn't know that was one of the 7 items of Rotary, which I should know that. But Grant County is the poorest county in the state of Indiana. It's number 92 in childhood poverty of 92 counties. And I've got a passion for economic development and how we can help this county through Rotary. And so I'd be curious if there are any other Rotary chapters that have done anything to help spur the economy in a big way. You know, it's one of those things, buy local, well, that's great, but how could we attract corporations or corporate headquarters to a county like Grant County? And if any of you guys have been involved in that, I spent a little bit of time doing economic development with Mayor Ballard in Indianapolis when he was the mayor. But rural economic development is totally different than metro economic development. And so if anybody has any thoughts or ideas on that, I would love to hear how some other counties have done some things to help change and maybe lead. We've got our own economic development organization. But I think we could be more impactful maybe than that organization is in our community if we handle it appropriately. So if anybody has thoughts on that, I'd love to hear it.
One that just comes to mind, Scott, is using our brand. We're using attraction through a Rotary sponsorship, whether it's a communication, publication of some type that you're marketing with. Those companies out there marketing understand what we do and understand that we're all about service. And whether it's staffing or whatever they do with their business and individually, using our brand on some publications that we totally support your projects through your Rotary Club.
Yeah, it's a great idea. Thanks, Joe.
So one of the things that I've seen on Rotary.org about the economic development portion of our area of focus is giving microloans to small business owners in other countries. I don't know if we do it in the States or not, but Rotary.org would be a great resource to just search for projects that other clubs have done on economic development.
EDF grants would be available for your club to match for some type of a startup grant. So that would be something you might think about for the first quarter next year to include that in the grant cycle.
I'm taking some notes, so thank you.
I appreciate the question. I'm taking notes too. I'll reach out. I mean, we all know folks in our communities that might be the expert to know the answer to those questions. So,
Scott,
yeah,
we had a speaker a few weeks ago on our Zoom meeting, who's the CEO of, it's called the Flagship in Anderson. It's right at I-69 and 67, and that's one of the things they do. He was telling us about their micro loan project and the success they've had with that, where they get their funds, and you know, who they've given it to, and they've got a very high percentage of them that get paid back. So it's been a pretty successful program. I can't think of the guy's name, but I think he teaches in business school at the Anderson University, but he's also the CEO of this of the flagship. So might have something to tell you about that.
Okay, thank you.
So Doug, who in your club would be a good person for Scott to contact to get the speaker's information?
I will get that to you. I'll have to tell you.
Okay. And then you can go on DACDB mobile on your phone, or you can go on DACDB to find each other's email addresses. Or you can go through me, that's fine, but it'll be a lot faster if you can just email one another directly. But
okay.
I don't mind helping. Just know that I probably won't be as fast as if you were able to do it yourself. But that's one of the great things about having DACDB and especially DACDB mobile on your phone. It's not exactly an app, but I went to, like I told you last week, I went to Pets, talked to a guy that I knew was from my district, but I couldn't remember what club. And I just did a search and found him. And then I was able to text him directly to tell him, you know, the rest of us were downtown or downstairs. So great way to connect with one another is through DACDB. So again, I'll have this recording up on YouTube. I don't think it's lesson 1 was on the district YouTube channel just yet. So I have my own. I'll just give you the link to lesson 1, and then I have some editing on this one to do because we didn't start right on time. But hey, everybody makes mistakes, right?
That's how we learn.
That's right. I should have a PhD in learning from doing it the wrong way first.
Jennifer, thanks for making these valuable and good use of time. And Joe, thanks for your leadership as well. Really appreciate
Thank you.